Well, in this video, I'm gonna be exposing Rodgers sexuals as I do for my part-time job, so let's get right on into it. So I was just scrolling through my community posts this morning, and I saw this post by ESPN with Marcus Spears saying that I don't care if Aaron Rodgers comes back next season. I really don't care. And I'm like, I don't care either. This guy's a piece of shit, and he's not even top 15 all time. I just say he's not top 20 all time just to piss people off so they listen, right? Because but they don't. Of course they don't, because all these Rodgers sexuals, they just think he's better than Brady. He's better than all these great quarterbacks, pretty much. The only one that I think he's better than, who's completely overrated, is Dan Marino. He's better than Dan Marino. Dan Marino is also an overrated stat patter with less accolades than Aaron Rodgers, so you gotta put Aaron Rodgers over him. Oh, all right. So Ter- Terrence Brantley said, people's hate for this dude won't even allow them to appreciate a legend for who he is and what he's done. It's fucked up. I'm like, the media's never criticized him until the last couple of years when he lost to San Fran at home, only scoring 10 points, playing absolutely horrible in crunch time. And, he lost a win and in game against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau. Like, they've never criticized them besides that. It's always the defense. It's always the coach. It's always the Packers never having enough weapons. It's never Aaron Rodgers' fault. Until the last couple of years. No, the Rodgers fans are so sad. But anyway, what is it? People get mad that I say he's not a top 20 quarterback all time. I mean he's not top 15. I just say that just to piss people off and for them to say something, pretty much, because when you're more blasphemous, people tend to listen to you more. They'll engage in a debate with you, and I say, okay, Tom Brady's better than him, Joe Montana's better than him, Peyton Manning's better than him, Dan Marino, okay, Dan Marino's not better than him, John Elway's better than him, Johnny Unitas is better than him, Otto Graham is better than him, Big Ben's better than him, Drew Brees is better than him, Cherry Bradshaw is better than him, Troy Aikman, Namath, Patrick Mahomes, Steve Young, Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, Roger Staubach. And I basically say to this young Trey guy, who's the most stupid sports fan I've ever talked to, because he thinks he knows everything, and he thinks he's such a smart, critical thinker, but he's not. He uses all these simplistic arguments. He's so dumb. But anyway, I say Rodgers only has one fluke Super Bowl ring, 1-4 in NFC Championship games, and everyone else gets blamed when the Packers lose, except Rodgers usually. Also, he's a piece of shit as a person, and he only cares about himself. So, what is it? I say to the original commenter, Terrence Brantley, I appreciate his regular season dominance against a usual terrible NFC North in his career. That's my QB1. A little, encouragement to a young child. That's my boy. That's my QB1. God. And then I, talk to this other person, because this is what people don't understand about sports goats debates. Like, okay, if you put Will Chamberlain in a 1v1 versus Prime Shaq's gonna win, because the game's evolved more. People get better at stuff, as it goes on. Like, the more years the game of basketball is played, the average skill level is gonna go up. So of course Shaq's gonna win, but all time, maybe Will has accomplished more in his time period than Shaq did. And he was just as dominant as Shaq was in his period, right? So, all time, there's a debate for Will to be better than Shaq. People don't understand that at all. Like, I don't understand what people... I'm like, okay, Otto Graham is not a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. He's not. But all time, there's an argument. Like, Rodgers is easily a top 3 most skilled quarterback in NFL history, but in accolades, he's not top 15. In all time, he's not top 15. He's like the biggest wasted potential quarterback in history. He could have been better than Brady. That's what a lot of people say. He could have been better than Brady. But anyway, that's what I meant to say by that. And this person roasts me for putting Dan Marino. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, Dan. Like, I'm like, okay, Dan Marino, he's no Super Bowls. He's less MVPs than Rodgers. He's an overrated stat pattern like Rodgers for his time. Rodgers is better than him. Like, okay? He's kind of the same story. He has all this great arm talent, he's such great IQ, whatever accomplishments to give him, but he doesn't get it done. And I like Dan Marino better than Aaron Rodgers since, Dan Marino is not a dick. From what I know. We'll have to do some more research to confirm that Dan Marino is not a dick. So what is it? And then this other idiot, IZIK, says, touchdown event. 1 Super Bowls and 4-time MVP? Steve Young doesn't have that. Big Ben doesn't. Drew Brees doesn't have that. Mahomes doesn't. I can go on and on and on. I'm like, and then this is how I respond. Let's scroll down. I say, with all of those great stats, the passing touchdowns, little interceptions in his career, QBR, 4 MVPs, and completion percentage, Rodgers has 1 fluke Super Bowl where he beat the Bears QB2, Caleb Haney, whatever his name is, 21-14 in the NFC Championship. Brees should have at least appeared in 2 Super Bowls if it wasn't for the Minneapolis Miracle and for the no call against the Rams. Even though Brees chokes sometimes, he mostly keeps the games competitive. Brees' numbers are comparable to Rodgers besides the interceptions. Brees is better than Rodgers. Anyways, half the time Rodgers gets ran out of the building in the playoffs, and then subsequently stat pads in the second half when the game's over. Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers because Mahomes clearly wins the eye test, has better playoff success, and has comparable stats. Kurt Warner's better than Aaron Rodgers, because Warner has better overall playoff success. Rodgers has the MVP advantage and stats advantage, but his playoff history diminishes some of his accolades' value. Which is true. I mean, in 2020, you absolutely shit the bed against the Niners, and you look fucking horrible. You score no points in the first half. I think he threw 2 interceptions in that game, too. Call me out if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Rodgers fans. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Maybe 1, maybe none, but he didn't score any points in the first half, and he proceeded to stat pad when the game was over. In 2021, he had 3 chances to beat Brady in the fourth quarter, went 4 for 11. That's great, in the fourth quarter. Should have ran in on that 3rd and goal touchdown. But anyway. So, those back-to-back MVPs, I'm like, wow, so what did he do in the playoffs? What did he do when he was not playing against the NFC North? What did Rodgers do that was so great? What did he do? Not really that much against all these great teams. And the teams that he did beat, the Packers were clearly better. But they couldn't beat comparable competition, the Packers. Rodgers couldn't elevate his team's play. He couldn't. Oh, gosh, that pissed me off. And then, let's go to Young Trey, this idiot again. Aaron Rodgers has more playoff wins than everybody you just named. You're trying to fall his playoff history. I'm just like, okay. That stat is attributed to longevity, not that Aaron Rodgers is good in the playoffs. Drew Brees should be 12-6 in the playoffs if it wasn't for the Minneapolis Miracle, the PI no call against the Rams, and I just also mentioned, because, you could mention this, Marshawn Lynch running all over the Saints defense in 2010 when the Seahawks won 41-36, and that was the famous play where, Lynch went beast mode pretty much, and he just ran through that entire Saints defense, and Drew Brees threw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Couldn't really do anything. And they lost the game 41-36. At least Brees fucking keeps the game competitive when his defense sucks. When Rodgers' defense sucks, he scores 17, 20 points. Okay. Defense is not always going to be top 5 here, and our Aaron Rodgers fans, chill out. God damn. But I just put that 41-36 loss in the wild card. I'm just like, he should have won that game. But, you could take that out because that's kind of a what if. But those 2, Minneapolis Miracle and the PI, that's not even debatable. That's pure fucking luck. And that would never happen to Brady. Oh, God. Brady would come up with a miracle of his own. So, And I said, Warner played in 10 seasons with 9 playoff wins. That's extremely impressive. In only 10 seasons, he won 9 playoff games. That's fucking good. And Patrick Mahomes is not even in his prime yet. And he's won like 8 playoff games. So, this guy's entire fucking argument is fucking dead. It's dead. And I said, young Trey, I didn't excuse Breeze for the Vikings performance, though, because of the offensive PI on the Vikings no call, like all the Saints fans do. Like all the Saints fans, in overtime, Cousins throws a touchdown to Adam Thielen. What? That's an offensive PI. He pushed off. Like, you can't lose to Kirk Cousins. You can't lose to Kirk Cousins. That's all I'm going to tell you. You can't lose in the playoffs to Kirk Cousins. That, at home, like, that can't happen. No, sorry. And then this idiot, SLAC Productions, touchdown event. I've never seen someone come in so confident and backpedal like you. Dear God. LMAO. It was funny to read, at least, bro. I'm like, I would be more respectful to these people if they were more respectful to me. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm calling them idiots. Because they are. I'm not confident. I'm like explaining I'm not backpedaling. I'm explaining my position because people are idiots and they don't get it. God damn. And then I give him the whole spiel, the SLAC Productions guy. If I were to say Bill Russell or Will is more skilled than Shaq, that would be insane, since the game of basketball has evolved since the 60s. But all-time greatness, there's an argument, but in all-time greatness, there's an argument for those players being better than Shaq. In football, Aaron Rodgers is more skilled than Joe Namath because the game has evolved. But all-time greatness is different. And then Michael Burns, this guy's also arrogant fuck. Once when you put Bradshaw on your what? Once you put Bradshaw on, your whole opinion is invalid. You obviously have no idea what you're talking about. Because, Bradshaw's numbers were really fucking bad. In many of his seasons, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. I'm so stupid. Aaron Rodgers threw 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in some seasons. He was just so great. Okay, this is my response. And I was getting pissed at this moment. Michael Burns, you're a young idiot fan who wants the newest athlete with the flashy stats as the GOAT. Bradshaw is a 4-time Super Bowl champion, an MVP, and a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he gives away money. I understand 3 Pro Bowls in 13 seasons is not that great for an all-time QB, but the 4 Super Bowls and the MVP slightly outweigh Rodgers' accolades. Did I mention the game was different back then? Like, literally 90% of the quarterbacks threw more interceptions and touchdowns back then? Because the game of football was not around for that long. Who would have known the game of football was not around for that long in 1970? Wow. And the game evolved with the Bill Walsh offense. Wow. Jeez, fucking idiots. And I also say he's a fluke Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers does. And he's a regular season stat patter who chokes in the playoffs. So that's basically it. These people claim that I'm insane, but I basically fucking destroyed their entire arguments, and they have had zero response. All they say is I'm a delusional idiot. That's all they're saying. But they don't have an argument for their own. They're just saying, Rodgers has won 4 MVPs. He's so great. He's won Super Bowl. Not many quarterbacks can win a Super Bowl. He's all these great stats. He's more passing yards than all the quarterbacks that, are in the all-time discussion. His better completion percentage. He's clearly the GOAT. Like, no. Like, but anyway, if you guys want me to, I'll make a serious top 10 QBs of all time. I'll put, serious thought in consideration into every, quarterback that's played. I'll do proper research. I'll put in stats and stuff like that. Like, I literally did research while I was doing this. Because, these people, like, they act like they know everything, but they don't. They didn't watch Terry Bradshaw or Otto Graham in the 40s and 70s. But there's a reason why they're in all-time lists. There's a reason. That's what I was convinced. And basically, I found out the reasons why. And I'm like, these guys did a lot more than Aaron Rodgers fucking did. I mean, like, Like, fuck. I don't know. I could be just an idiot on watching football, but I was the one who predicted Clemson was going to suck this season in college, and no one predicted it. Which was pretty obvious because DJ Ungule is the worst Power 5 quarterback, you know? Like, I can't believe people, like, thought I was an idiot for that one, too. Like, even Club Dick couldn't save him. But, you know, anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want that top 10 list. You know, we can get it out there. Maybe top 10 for NBA, too. Get all you guys pissed off. Hope you guys enjoyed this.